Greetings, everyone. Nikanashkan, Notlakpaloristli, Inistli, Inyolot. I salute you from my heart and my face. That means that my inner and outside essence salute you in resonance. Welcome to this new lecture. In this time, I'm going to share with you part of the Toltekayot wisdom that includes a system that our ancestors have created in order to detox our body and clean our temple, our gali, our house, that is the human body. Because they knew that everything begins having an avatar, light and vital, energetically, and also clean. So that's why I'm going to share part of the Toltekayot, of the 7 steps of the Toltekayot that I showed you before in previous videos when I explained the Toltekayot, the art of good living, or the art of living well. And the 4th step of Toltekayot is called Chipawa. And today I'm going to share this beautiful wisdom, of course, updated, because now we are living in different times from 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. We have to be very aware and observe what is happening in our planet, with our society. Every time we are getting sick and sicker and sicker, more obesity, and also full of toxins and poisons around us. It's very clear to see that the air is contaminated with these residues of the fossil. It's not fossil because we know that the oil doesn't come from fossils, but we are using those terms. But the fuels that we are using that is carbonizing the environment, the pneuma silicon, the silicon pneuma etherical energy that we really breathe, and also with full of chemtrails. Our water is poisoned also with fluor and heavy metals. We are eating junk food, dead food also. And we are surrounded by very toxic environment, full of plastic, hormonal disruptors. All of them are causing the modern diseases that we are suffering. That's why we have to update this information, because now we are in an emergency state and we have to start to do something about it. It's necessary. Start to act and start to change our predator lifestyle in order to turn our life into art, following the principles of nature. So that's why I'm going to explain you this very important topic. Now I'm going to share. Chipawa. Chipawa means in Nahuatl, purification and transparency. Transparency of our crystal body, because we are made by silicon. And also we are made by several minerals and liquid water, crystal water, in essence. That's why our ancestors have created this Chippewa technique that means purification and transparency of our crystals in order to reflect a better image from our inner world, in order to resonate with everything around us and enter in this state of harmony, peace, and love. So this is the Toltek holistic system of living well. And Chippewa is organized in 4 movements that we call in Nahuatl Nahui, Olin. Nahui 4 Olin movement. The first one is know your body. The second one is holistic diet. The third one is fasting. And the fourth one is hygiene. Today I'm going to present you holistic diet. If you want to know more about know your body, go and check out my video that I did before, that I called the human body is an electric energetic plant biomachine. And then in there I'm going to explain you how our body really works. And also I have another video presenting the fasting topic. So that's why I decided to present in this occasion the holistic diet, because this is a crucial topic that we have to be aware of that and realize that we don't need food at all. Okay, I'm going to show you these words taken from the Chilambalam. The Chilambalam is the book of the Mayan culture, where they registered the daily life and also the Toltecayot and ascetic lifestyle that they used to practice every day. And of course, the whole cosmovision from their perspective in this Toltec tradition in Anahuac continent. So I'm going to translate. It said, there were in they wisdom. They didn't know sin at all. They used to have holy devotion. They used to live healthy without diseases, nor pain. Straightly was their body. So I told you before, this was taken from the ancient books of Chilambalam. So clearly they are talking about that our ancestors live the real state of coherence and healthy state. They were very healthy people that achieved self-transformation and ascension from this tonality matrix, extraction matrix illusion. So this is the key that we have to start to embrace and practice if we want to get out of this madness and video game called tonality matrix system once and for all. Okay, holistic feeding system. I'm going to talk about how we really are feeding our bodies not just with food, but in a holistic way that I am going to explain you now. So do not start a diet what ends one day. Start a lifestyle that lasts forever. So brothers and sisters, this is something that you have to realize and incorporate. This is not about a diet that you're gonna start one day and after, okay, I'm done and I keep doing my things and my parallel life. No, this is a lifestyle. It's not, we're not talking about a diet. We're talking about a lifestyle, the art of living well that Toltek demands to every Masewali. Masewali means that warrior that earns everything by her or his own merit, struggling with their own demons, fears, attachments, habits, programs, in order to defeat that irrational animal, neurotic body that is controlling us all the time, to fight outside of you with others. But the real battle is inside. That's the flourish battle, the flourish war that we came to fight for. If you want to get into the red path of self-transformation of the Toltecayo wisdom. So our social organization system in Anáhuac was organized in this way. We have here in the first phase, we can find health. On second, diet. The third one, education. The fourth one, organization. And when we organized and combined these four together in harmony, we harmonize these four systems, we're going to get spirituality. Because spirituality means connection. You're going to start to live in connection with your love and with your heart and with your soul. But as you can tell, at the foundations and base of the pyramid, we're going to find health. And how we are going to achieve health? By your diet. So this is very important. That's why our ancestors are telling us this message that we have to recover our health state of coherence. So every revolution begins with health. That's why this system was organized beginning with health, because every revolution needs to begin with health. Remember that. Because otherwise, when you're sick, you don't have vitality, energy. Nothing can be done in the state of sickness, because you can think clearly and also you can feel openly and you can absorb love, the highest energy of all that resonates in our hearts, because we are full of toxins, mucus, parasites, fungus, etc. So remember this phrase always. And you can tell here One image says more than 1,000 words. The inner world is going to reflect the outer world. Never at the contrary. So you are reflecting everything that you have inside of you, as you can tell in this picture. So holistic feeding system. Let's get started with this. So we have to realize that the first food that we are taking, and it's thanks that we are alive. It's not because we are eating, it's because we are breathing. So the first food that our body is taking and keep us alive is air. So in Nahuatl, we call air or wind ejecatl. Also here in our tradition, we have the same practices from India, because I showed you the proofs in another video of the Toltek video principles, with the comparisons and the proofs that Asia and Anáhuac and Tahuantinsuyo, Americois, used to be the same culture. So that's why we have the same concepts with different names. So that's why most of the ancient cultures of the planet practice the modern term that we use today, that we call breath work. In India, they call it pranayama, and here in Anáhuac, we call it ihimati, in order to respore, and I say respore, in Spanish is respirar, breathing, and I say respore because we have spores in our cells that absorb this energy that we call tleyot. And tleyot is prana or mana, or whatever you want to call it. Here we call it tleyot, this prana. So the tleyot is the first and the only food that our body is using to create fine energy. Of course, at this level of the evolution that we are living today, because after several years of practicing, also is highly probable that we can stop to breathe also. But that is the last step that we have to get in order to ascend. I'm going to explain this later. But air, tleyot, is the first food. You want to make the proof? Just plug your nose and tell me how much can you last without breathe. So that's the highest proof that we have to know that we are living because we are breathing, not because we are eating. Another proof that we can be fasting with no food at all for a very long time without eating anything, and we still alive, and also with more energetic energy. We feel more energetic. We feel more energy. And also we feel more light. And most of the diseases gone when you practice more than 21 days fasting, 40 days fasting. This is proven. This is not a theory. Instead, when we eat, and especially the food that we're eating in the modern times, we don't have energy. We experience lack of energy. We are feeling tired, sleepy. And of course, we are getting sick. So that's the biggest proof that you need to know that we are living by air, Kleyot, prana. And this is the archetype called Ehekat, that means wind air, Quetzalcoatl. And they're related with Quetzalcoatl because Quetzalcoatl means also evolution. I explained that concept in another video, the real essence of Quetzalcoatl. You want to go deeper. But Quetzalcoatl means evolution. Quetzalcoatl is coming to teach you how to overcome this dual wave, this sine wave, transversal wave of death that is managed by dualism, positive, negative, good, evil, etc. That is pretty dense. It's going to anchor you to the density of the 3D tonal illusion matrix system. So that's why the Toltek tradition always relate Ehekat, the wind air, with Quetzalcoatl, because they knew that we are living thanks to the air. That's why they put or wear a kind of stick. I don't know how to say it, but it's a kind of stick between the two overtures, openings of the nose. Because it's representing that we need to breathe well in order to achieve the real healthy state of coherence. Because breathing, our breath controls our pulse heart, our heart pulse. And our heart pulse controls our blood pressure. It's another trinity that we call Ometeot. That's the real state of coherence. Breathing, heart pulse, and blood pressure. So that's why we are presenting this archetype that is telling you, breathe freely, start to breathe freely and with consciousness. So I must again remind you that air is more necessary to life than food. So this is very clear. So this is the first food that you need, and also is present in everything, and also in water. Remember that everything is water, and basically everything is ether, and ether is present in the rest of the elements, and they combine each other and create this system of life. So also we can find this ether, this silicon, etherical pneuma gas inside of air, inside of water, inside of the earth. So we are breathing through our whole body, our cells, our skin, not just by the nose. So I invite you and recommend you that if you want to practice Ihimati pranayamas, you have to be aware that it's not for keep you alive, or the new age thing that now we are spreading, that we need to make breathworks and blah blah. Okay, if you want to do it, it's up to you, but you have to be aware that it's not necessary. To breathe is a mechanical instruction, an activity. So Ihimati or pranayamas, we use it to detoxify our lungs. That's only the thing but you don't need to do something special to be alive. Imagine the life will be very complicated. No, life is simple, it's easy, remember. If you want to know more about this topic, I recommend you go to my channel and check out the video that I call it Kleyot, the breath of life. Oxygen is death. It's very interesting. I explained there what we are really breathing. And oxygen is the death of genome, our genes, because it's very easy to prove. Oxygen is flammable. It can explode. Actually, if you breathe a pure oxygen, it's going to blow your lungs. So be careful. We are not breathing oxygen. We are breathing nitrogen and helium. And you have to give the order to your body that allows only the passage of these elements, but not oxygen. So, because we are living, because we are inhaling the silicon, etherical pneuma gas that keep everything in harmony and aligned to the cosmic energy, the ether. So the second food that we are eating all the time is water. Water, now what we say, atl. That's why we have the name of Atlantis, Atlántico, the Atlantic, because the root is water. Atlantic means place surrounded or full of plenty water. And the Atlanteans are the humans that are made by water. So we are the real Atlanteans because all of us, we are made of water. So water is the essence of life. As a matter of fact, this planet should be called water, not earth. Everything is water in the three states: solid, liquid, and gas. So we are beings of water. Remember this, Atlanteans. But what kind of water? Crystal water, because we are made by minerals. Of the minerals of the periodic table are in the liquid quartz water that we can find it in the ocean. We are a fractal of the ocean, a droplet of the ocean. And this water is plasma. It's not a regular water, it's plasma. It's the fourth state of the matter. So did you know that this is very interesting? Something that you have to know, because the water that is contained within fresh fruits and vegetables isn't just HO2, but is actually living and structured water, known chemically as H3O2. It's known as the fourth phase of water. It's not quite a solid, but not quite a liquid either. It's more of a gel-like a substance. This is a type of water that is found intracellularly in the body, and the only type of water your body can utilize. When you consume just HO2 or H2O, your body has to convert it into H3O2 first before it's useful. Therefore, consuming water from fresh fruits and vegetables is far superior to drinking water, and the only way to truly hydrate at a cellular level. Wow. This is very important to know. This is an information that you are not going to find at schools, universities. So that's a very important topic that we have to realize and incorporate, because we are not drinking the right water, the correct water. So what is the purest water on earth? The water inside fruits and vegetables is the purest, healthiest, and cleanest water that exists on earth. So plants are the only thing that can turn inorganic minerals into organic minerals for the body during its self-filtration process. H3O2 water is living enzyme alkaline electric water. So, brothers and sisters, we have to know that we didn't create it to drink water like animals do in the wild environment. So think about this. If we can, or if we want to get close to the river, a pond, a lake, whatever, and you want to drink like an animal does with your tongue, it's impossible. We are very stupid. we can drink it like that because our tongue is short in comparison with animals. Animals, they have a very large tongue. It's like a spoon because they can drink that kind of water, but not us. So the water that nature has created for us is this one. The water inside fruits and vegetables, but principal fruits, juicy fruits, because it's the real plasma. And this is very important to assimilate that, because when we drink mineral water from outside, we are in taking minerals that we can assimilate, like salt, like another heavy metals. That's why we have to consume only this distilled water. And fruits can give us this amazing water, a plasma water. And also is more delicious than regular water. Of course, if we make a comparison with the bottled waters and tap water, if you taste that kind of water, it has in comparison with the water that we can find in a river or in a glacier or in a creek, in the nature wild water. But the water inside fruits, it hasn't competition, because it's sweet and also delicious in comparison with regular water. So every time that you are thirsty, when you feel thirst, go and eat a fruit, watermelon, all kind of citrus, lemons, oranges, pineapples, tangerines, mandarins, mangoes, kiwis, apples, etc. Because in this water we can find the structured water. What is structured water? It's a water that is harmonized in the real state of liquid water state. It forms this kind of geometry, because otherwise we are drinking unstructured water, because the hydrogen links that we can find inside the water are broken. So that's why when we drink and consume that kind of water, our system can't assimilate. And then the body is going to retain this water. And when we have this kind of water, when it's stagnant water, when we have stagnant water, that's going to produce pathogens parasites, fungus, blocked energy. So when we drink structured water, our cells are going to be able to absorb this water in a better way, an efficiently way. So that's why we have to stop to drink tap water and bottled water, because they could be clean, but they are dead, because this kind of water doesn't have the biomagnetical energy and this structure hydrogen links. So remember that. Also, we can drink the water of life. That is your urine, your piss. Is the water of life. Because also it's plasma. It's a serum that your own body create for you, special for you, with the right information made by the inner scanner. It's like the real vaccine. So when you reintroduce this water, you're introducing plasma, pure plasma again, with the all information that you need. Distilled water, and also with the right minerals, with the right frequency. So urine therapy is another part of this self-transformation, and it's a habit that you have to incorporate in your life if you want to achieve health. So soon I'm going to make a video explaining this beautiful therapy. And the other practice that you can start to experience is to drink seawater. Seawater is another plasma energy that we are made of. So the mother of all waters is seawater. So we have to know how to do it, because seawater has more minerals than water. So that's why we have to create our isotonic way to drink it, because seawater is hypertonic. That means that it has more minerals than solution. And isotonic means that it has this equal minerals than the water. Like us, neutral. Remember, neutral is, we have always to be neutral state. So the way to convert this hypertonic to isotonic is pouring in a glass of water when you are a beginner, 1/4 of seawater and the other 3/4 of regular water. And then you can squeeze a lemon. Oof, delicious. It's a serum also. Because you have to realize this, that seawater is not just water with salt. This is a misunderstanding that the system has programmed in our minds, that no, it's very dangerous, it's contaminated, polluted, blah, blah, blah. No, because it has a lot of minerals. That's why our planet is intelligent being. So all the minerals are for a reason, because everything that is living inside, animals, plants, and also every kind of waste that is pouring into sea, all those minerals is going to dissolve them. Because remember, inside of the ocean are living animals that piss, shed, and die, and also plants, algae. So that's why our planet can recycle everything. Of course, it's going to take, depends, the grade of contamination, a certain time to clean the water, to heal the water. But maximum 40 days, a quarantine. And also, you know, all the kind of oil that they are spilled in the past now is gone because of this. And also the seawater has plankton and other microorganisms that helps to keep this in balance. Of course, if you want to take seawater, go to a clean beach. Don't take it when you see a beach full of boats or something like that. But don't be afraid to start this practice. I have been drinking seawater since 12 years ago, and I'm still alive. And also I have been practicing urine therapy since almost 7 years ago. And also I'm still alive and better than ever. So this is the other waters that we have to incorporate in our daily habits. And if you still want to consume regular water, I recommend you to buy or get a water distillator to get rid of heavy metals and all kind of dirty things that you can find in tap water or whatever. If you want to, because sometimes if you want to drink a tea or infusion, because it's necessary sometimes to help our body, drinking these kind of infusions, herbal infusions made by different types of herbarium system, like Artemis, like cloves, cinnamon, dandelion, or oregano, basil, because also we can kill parasites using herbs. But I recommend you to get this distillator. It's going to help you a lot to get rid of the dirt and the disgusting things that we can find in the modern water, especially tap water. So the third food that we are taking, but we are not aware of that, is earthing, touching the ground barefoot. So earthing is the process of absorbing Earth's free-flowing electrons from its surface through the soles of one's feet. So basically we are taking food when we are barefoot, in contact with Earth, because the Earth is passing magnetism through our soles of our feet all the time. We are grounding, and also laying on the earth, like in this example here below, using clay or mud, because if we start to incorporate these techniques that using clay, the clay is going to absorb, has the capacity to absorb toxins and also kill parasites and other things. So this is the third food that we are taking all the time. And we have to remember to practice this again, to reconnect our essence, our body, to the real source of energy. Because remember, our earth is a big magnet that produces magnetism, resonance, frequencies, and also electricity. And we have to get the balance between all of those elements. And also when we are barefoot, we are receiving minerals from our souls. We are absorbing minerals and principle, the magnetism and controlling the charge. So benefits of grounding: reduces pain, improves sleeps, boosts immunity, calms the mind, decreases inflammation, detoxification of waste and toxins, restores the body's natural state, balances the nervous system, promotes efficient cellular repair function, improves heart rate variability, prevents cardiovascular disease, and regulates blood glucose. Wow. And also, we activate our piezoelectric system, inducing by a dynamic movement. When we start to move, we want to produce more energy, balancing the charges, using the piezoelectric system of our energetic power plant called human body. So protect yourself from the harmful effects of electromagnetic fields, constantly bombarding us daily from computers, Wi-Fi, TVs, antennas, 5G, and electrical equipment. So while standing barefoot on the Earth's surface, you are Earth, which creates a shielding effect by the Earth's natural electrical field. This protective phenomenon also occurs inside your house or your office. If you are connected to the Earth with an earthing device like a mat or bed sheet. Now you can find modern technology. Then I recommend you, if you are starting, and also if you are not able to go very often to nature, the best thing, and of course is for free, is go to nature and practice. But sometimes there are some people that they can't do it because they're living in a big building, in the highest floors, and you can, from there you can tie a copper wire and then stick it in the ground. So why not use this kind of technology? You can find more information on internet, the mats and sheets. But the best thing is this: barefoot, no shoes. As you can see here, when we are wearing shoes, we have 350 volts making pressure in our entire biomagnetic electrical system, especially in our head. They are creating ionization, negative in our body, that is creating negative charges, that is involving us in a negative environment of struggling with these chargers. These chargers are out of control, provoking disorder in our atom structures and in our nervous system. That's why we are very nervous and stressed, and because we are suffering the ionization, the extremely high ionization because of this. But instead of that, when we are barefoot, 0 volts. We are grounding and we are eliminating this nocive ionization produced by the modern technology, radio frequencies, modern devices, antennas, and also the astral beings that we call stars and this kind of astrology system that is programming us, our behavior with the astrology, because they are emanating frequencies, light that our nervous system receives, and that's why we have some kind of personality. Depends your zodiacal sign, no? Taurus, Libra, Aquarius. Something that we don't have in count, but that's why we have to start to practice again these practices to return to the nature system of living. So it's like absorbing antioxidants directly into the soles of your feet. Remember. So this is another proof when people start to produce inflammation in their muscles, tissues, because this high ionization provoking by high voltages, this electromagnetic environment, nocive electromagnetic environment. And when they start to practice earthing or grounding, look at this, check it out. After 4 nights sleeping grounded, the inflammation start to low, decrease. So I recommend you a movie you can find here on YouTube that is called Earthing, and then you can check all the proofs telling by people that experience these benefits. So that's why we have to start to remember these practices again and start to experience by our own. That's why the Toltecs preach all the time. Start to experience by yourself everything. So, because we are electric creatures now, as you can tell, with the larva, this is the larvatic body that controls us by electrical impulses. And now we are living in electric cities. And then you can find electricity, electric cities like this, motherboards with microchips and all kind of circuits. It's the same what we can find in the modern cities and also in the ancient, but now in the modern system, they were created in order to extract your energy and control us by the nervous system all the time. Impulses, electrical impulses produced by emotions. Emotions means E is energy, motion, movement. Movement of energy. What kind of energy? Electrical. That is causing you inside short circuits. Is literally frying our burning our cells and system because we are moving energy very fast and we can control that energy because we are very emotional and and we are high intoxicated. We can feel that. So that's the importance to start to practice earthing and realize that we have this principal food that is to breathe, drink the right water, and also grounding and be earthing all the time. This is the real food. So, clean body, clear mind. That's why we have to clean our body, because this one controls this one. Remember this: clean body, clear mind. That's the way to find balance in our environment, in our temple, in our avatar, in order to recover our state of resonance and coherence, and also let our soul be our pilot, not the larvatic body, not the parasites, because mind is controlling our life. But because we are intoxicated and we are very dirty inside of our body. Because toxins produce emotions, no at the contrary, no in reverse. Toxins create emotions. And it's very easy to prove. That's why I put this example with this image. So depends the poison that is running through your veins or blood, you're going to reflect a behavior. So if you drink a glass of beer or wine, the alcohol is going to produce an emotion. It's going to produce a behavior. So it's very easy to see when you see drunk people, they change immediately. So the same thing is when you drink a cup of coffee, especially espresso, it's a shot of caffeine that is going directly to your blood, and boom, you're going to be different. And also a line of cocaine. If you take a line of cocaine, for sure you're going to be a different person. So that's why toxins create emotions, because you are poisoned and emotions are controlling us, because I told you it's energy and movement, electrical impulses controlled by the larvatic body. So we are intoxicated in our interior. The mind is the entrance door through which we are programmed towards control. It's through the reptilian brain where the parasitation begins, and from there, they cauterize our heart. Evil begins, a substance that germinates in our body. So the evil begins inside of, because this one, the larvatic, the alien, is controlling the body instead of this, the heart, the chief, the coil, the resonance, the pulse, the spiritual pulse. And this is ruled by the sine wave, by dual system, right, left, positive, negative. Dualism here is just, we can find unity, spiritual, calm, magnetism. And everything is because our diet. So the system knows this kind of formula that you have to start to realize how the system controls us and create everything. So this reminds me the Star Wars philosophy. No, when Star Wars says, what Yoda says, that fear is the path of the dark side. And it's true, because fear in our body is a kind of wave, the dual, and it's a very dense wave. It's a very heavy, slow, as then is the lowest frequency. It's a frequency based in the 6.66 hertz, 666, the number of the beast, because it's a, you have to know that it's a frequency also. And also 666 is the number of carbon. Carbon is matter, density. So that's why fear creates that, causes stress. And the stress by chemical energy and chemistry is going to create adrenaline, this substance, the hormonal substance. And adrenaline is going to create acidification. And acidification is going to create its pH low, a potential, hydrogen potential low, that means acidic. And we are in acidic state, in an acidic way. We open our body to the invasion of everything, pathogens, fungus, parasites, and everything start to a system of chaos in our body. But this is the effect, it's not the cause. The pathogens, parasite, fungus are not the cause, are the effect. The cause is this, fear and acidification, of course. Because we are living inside of the mind control system of this larvatic body that is asking everything, like food, sex, drugs, adrenaline, etc. So we have to be very aware of that, because it's like if I say that when you see garbage or trash on the street, and then you start to see how a lot of rats, cockroach, flies, mosquitoes, fungus, any kind of animals start to arrive. And you don't say, oh, those animals brought the garbage, the trash. No. If you say that, somebody's going to say, don't be stupid. They came because they found the garbage. They found a place to live, the right place to live. They found food. They found the right environment. So it's the same. Those pathogens are finding in our body their own house, because they're finding the right environment with electrical impulses, with a low magnetic field, in a very low pH, without air. And then they're going to cause more chaos. They're going to amplify chaos. But they are not the cause. And then we have the results of these parasites. They are feeding from you. They are taking control of your mind, and they force you to generate their food by substances that they are giving to your body into your blood electrochemistry. And the symptoms are that you are going to be always in high adrenaline states because they are asking adrenaline. And also they are forcing you to consume refined sugars, industrial sugars, alcohol, because alcohol produces fermentation. Now, fermentation produces alcohol, and they love that. And you're going to start to see enemies everywhere. Fatigue, a continuous fatigue. Emotional and sexual fatigue, no energy. Addiction to the alcohol and stimulates, triggers. And also they become you in a fanatic, religious, politic, musical, sports, fanatic. And they're going to keep you always in external emotions like depression and hyper happiness, also in extremes. But that we have to eliminate these monsters inside us. That's why the evil is inside us. It's literally. Look at this. Parasites in the brain, organelles. Look at this. Wow, that's gross. Here, that's the Horus eye that is telling you that you have the parasite here in your nervous system and also in your eye. The optic nervous is the parasitation here. Intestinal mucus. So if you ain't eating right, chances are you ain't thinking right. Very clear. Because this controls this. Clean body, clear mind. Remember always that. So that's why we have this question. What do we have to eat? So the right answer is nothing. But okay, we're going to have to go slow down, please. Assimilate the information, and then we're going to start to explain that we don't need any kind of food. That's the ultimate truth and the only one. And it's proven. That's why every time there are more people that is breatharian. They live all in breathing. Actually, all human beings are breatharians because I told you at the beginning, the first food is air. We are living because we are breathing, not eating. So you don't have to get there. We are already there, but we have to get rid of the excesses, the heavy materials that we are carry on in our in our emotional body, and also in our physical body. So get rid of the excesses, and then you're going to start to see clearly and comprehend and understand that you don't need food at all. It's a deception. It's another paradigm that the system involves us. They made us believe that we need to eat to survive because they want to keep us slaves, tired, and depending on something external of you. That's why we are working for. Every time that you ask somebody, why are you working for? Because I have to eat. I have to bring food to my table to feed my family. That's the main thing, that slavery is controlled by food. Now, we have to realize that I'm going to explain you and teach you how we're going to use food to achieve this liberation, to start to be breatharian, fully breatharian, not just partially. But first, you have to detoxify your body, clean your body. Have to cleanse your body. A cleansing, have to practice that cleansing experience first. Because otherwise, you can die, not because you are not eating, because your own toxins, your own poisons are going to kill you sooner or later if you don't do the correct transition step by step. You don't have to get first. You have to know how to get. There is no competition here. Not sure, you have to know that this process is individual process, because depends the level of toxins that you have inside. That is what make us different. Not the type of blood or your race. No, because human race, physically outside, we are different. Black, yellows, red, whites. You can tell it. We are different. But inside, we are the same. Physiology, our physiology is the same. Nobody has 2 stomachs, 3 livers. No, 4 pancreas. We have the same anatomy, and especially inside. So that's the first thing, that the only difference is your level of toxins that you have inside. You have to make a recapitulation of your toxic record and realize that you have to make it step by step. Don't rush it, and never compare with others, because you are different. You have a different record of toxins. So that's why we are going to teach how to make this transition in the right energy, in the right path. And if you are willing to achieve this, if you have discipline, if you have force of will, and don't rush, you're going to achieve this for sure. Sooner or later, we're going to liberate ourselves from this paradigm, this belief that is food. To eat, we don't need to eat. I showed you before. The first food that we have: air, water, and earth. That's all you need, without any necessity to ingest or intake something. So that's the main thing that we have to realize. So you are what you eat, and worse, you are what you feed inside of you. So we only eat for pleasure today, to satisfy our senses and mind. We're eating by tradition, habits, convenience, and by emotion. this is very clear. We are eating by emotions. And I told you, emotions are created by toxins. So this is very important. You are what you are feeding inside of you. And what we are feeding, parasites, fungus, that control our avatar, our temple. So what we are eating, you have to know that hunger is a pathological experience. We have a pathological hunger. What that means? That we are eating because the parasites are asking for food. That's why you feel this sensation. Hunger is not natural. It's provoked by these pathogens, fungus. They are asking for that. That's why they are sending electrical impulses to your brain, because remember, this control this. And this is full of parasites and pathology and fungus, like these candidas, larvae, worms, tapeworms, bacteria, etc. That's why, remember this, hunger is not natural. It's provoked by these entities that we are feeding every day. And that's also we are eating because we are feeling the abstinence of the abstinence syndrome. So it's the same concept when some people get drunk after that night, that person is going to wake up and feel like hangover of dizzy and very sick. So to stop that sensation, normally those people drink more alcohol to stop that, a beer or whatever. And it works. And why it works? Because it's making like the brake system. They are like talking about your car, when you push the brakes, it's the same. You're pushing the brake, stopping the detox process, the abstinence syndrome. So it's the same when you are fasting, especially when we are sleeping. After you wake up, most of people that are very high intoxicated, they feel this hunger, this pathological hunger, because they are suffering the abstinence syndrome. So to calm that, they need to eat. And as soon as they eat, they feel, wow, calm. They say, oh, I feel better. Now I eat. And that's why you start to feel also headaches and bad mood. You aren't being in the bad humor. And because these parasites are provoking that. They are bothering you because they want that you start to act and say, okay, I need food because I feel dizzy and then I feel angry. I need to eat. Because the larva is a warrior, or is a negative warrior that wants to fight outside all the time. So that's why we have to realize that we are eating because of this. We are suffering pathological hunger and abstinence syndrome. And that's why our inner battle that our ancestors called the flourish war begins. It's an inner battle against these beings, these demons inside of us, controlling our willing, our system, our avatar. So our body is a biological machine made of crystal water that works with air gas. Remember this, I told you. So it's a pressure pump made of air that works with air, with a constant circulation of liquids like blood, saliva, and other substances, where the lungs are the pump, the air pump, and our heart is a magnetic bulb. So we work with pressure air. So the machine is made of a water base of a spongy and elastic material, and it keeps itself by the capacity of the expansion and contraction vibration. So if we lose elasticity in our organs and tissues, we're going to lose vitality. So this biological machine depends 100% of air and a good ventilation. So depends entirely of the respiration, of the breathing of the air. That is the breath of life. So that's why we can find that espira means spirit. Espira, respira in Spanish, respirar, respore, back to the spores that absorb the silicon pneuma etherical substance. So spira also means first air and then spirit, the breath of God. Is in fact first good fresh air. It has been said that breathing is life. And it's true that you develop vitality, health through physical and breathing awareness techniques we are producing mechanically. I told you, you don't have to do something special to be alive. Just keep breathing freely without obstructions. That's why we don't have to wear masks anymore, and never. We are blocking our original food. Man's natural home. It stuns a man to tell him eating is not natural. Most men never heard of people who live without eating. We show in our work the nutritional myth that eating is an acquired habit, like smoking. The sensation of hunger rises from the certain stimulation of alimentary tract. Appetite comes with eating. An advanced scholar writes that there was not an ascent of man, but a descent of man. And this theory is supported by ancient records and legends. Man did not spring from the slime of the sea, nor from a worm in the ground, like evolution theory said, stupid evolution. Masonic Jesuit theory. So, as science claims, for sure. He came from another planet of start in the ground. No, traveling to this planet in a spaceship. Of course, we have to know that extraterrestrial is not means that the Star Wars, movie that you are traveling through space. Now, we know that that is fake. So extraterrestrial, it could be that in this plane of inertia, there's more lands beyond the Antarctic Circle. So this man did not eat the original one, but sustained on cosmic elements. He was a breatharian, and scintillate sunshine and cosmic rays from the atmosphere of the earth, to which he had come and acclimatized himself to its atmosphere and his new environment. In that distant age, man dwelt in high places where air is purest and highly charged with ozone and cosmic rays. This cosmic substance he inhaled, and it was termed the breath of life. But his body was animated and sustained. In the high altitude, the weather was perpetually cool, but his powerful vitality kept him comfortable. In that day, according to legend, man had a lifespan of nearly 100,000 years. He did not know somatic death, according to Budget Ireland, who said. So long ages passed, and the time came when man decided to use pure rainwater. So he had liquid to his sustaining substance. This man was blonde in complexion, had sparkling blue eyes that resembled the color of the sky, and hair of golden yellow that resembled the sunshine. The ancient Greeks had a tradition of the Hyperboreans who dwelt in the mountains in land of perpetual sunshine and ate only fruit, but originally, like the gods from whom they descend, sustained all air and sunshine. They were never ill, and the duration of their lives was long-lasting. So I found this on internet and for a book. It's very interesting. But there's another information that we can find from the ancient traditions. Also in the Toltek traditions, they explain the same. In the Essenian tradition, they explain the same. In the Ayurvedic tradition, in the Zen tradition, Tao tradition. So they are telling us that the original human being doesn't need food at all. And also we can achieve that. But I told you, we have to do it step by step. So eating is death. It's an anagram. Diet, you separate this word from the T, what would you get? Die. Diet is to die. That's why we are dying, because we are eating. And also the exit is another anagram for eat. So you have to become again in eat. You have to get rid of the eat, the substance, the heavy substance. You know, the density, the matter. You have to change the frequency in order to ascend. You have to stop to be and eat as a heavy substance of matter. Anchored to the density of the matrix. So life is a comedy, they said. In comedy is the same. In Spanish is comer, and comer is to eat. That's why life is a comedy. Commerce, comercio. Also, we are eating energy. So that's what we have become in a big, huge dining room, eating all the time. Now we are living for eating, and that's why we are dying, because our diet, especially the modern diet. That's why we are aging, and of course, we are dying, because we are living following the principle of the dual sine wave. That's why we were born into sin. In sin is an anagram of sine. The dual wave sign that is transversal, that decays, the material, the time and space. That's what's the time? Time is movement, just like that. the movement of the luminaries, sun, moon, stars, because time is a concept, doesn't exist. And how we are observing time by this aging. Everything starts to decay. But it's not necessarily like that. We can revert this. We can rejuvenate ourselves, stop eating in this essential process of evolution again. So humans dig their own graves with their teeth. Don't kill yourself for pleasure. So if everything is fine with the diet, why do we have a lot of products to heal something like arterial pressure, constipation, heartburn and gastritis, vitamins of all kinds, supplements, hemorrhoids, allergies, flus, products full of fiber, headaches, hangovers. Now, if you watch TV, you can see advertising and TV commercials selling you all these kind of products all the time, and also on internet. So if everything is all right, why we need to consume all of this? Because it's not right. So health is not merely an accident, but an achievement. For the orderly working of the body functions spells health, and its derangement results in disease. This is very clear. So vitality. First, vitality does not depend primarily and directly upon food, but rather from the facts of how far and how much the function of the human engine is obstructed, clogged up by obstructions of mucus and toxemias. That's why we are losing vitality. And this is the results: obesity, gluttony, fatigue, tiredness, stupidity, and everything is a chain that is going to unfold one from another, because we are living for eating. Even in the healthy body, when overeating or gluttony is indulging, it can cause vomiting and diarrhea, for the healthy organ rejects all excess of food. So take your responsibility that you have done or you have created. And we have created this, a mucus life, blocking our entire system from inside to outside, given the right conditions to thrive these parasites inside us. So that's why we can breathe well, we can feel well, we can touch, we can smell. Also, we can see well, because we are full of these toxins, obstructions. Satan in Spanish is an anagram. If you read from right to left, it says natas, Satan, natas. And natas in Spanish means this, mucus, toxins. That's why we have Satan inside of us. So now is the time to take the responsibility to change this once and for all. And how we're going to start? With the company in our entire life of a mucusless diet. This is the key of everything. Mucusless diet. These are the mucus forming foods that you have to start to avoid from now and ever. Of course, meats, all animal flesh, fishes, birds, mammals, insects, whatever. We have to stop eating flesh and corpses, dead corpses, because this is a zombie activity. If you eat death, you're going to receive death. And especially because of this. Of course, eggs, fats, dairy products, legumes, and all starchy foods like rice, bread, potatoes, pastas, etc., etc. And the non-mucus forming foods, all green leaves, vegetables, and all kind of fruits. So begin the transition period by avoiding mucus forming foods as much as possible. Foods manufactured and prepared by humans only cause disease, troubles, and sickness, and are therefore wrong foods. Right foods are fresh fruits and green leaf vegetables. Are healthy, divine foods, healing, and disease-free. The paradisiacal living. So this is very clear. On the left side, this is that we can consider food. And from the right, edibles. Of course, you can eat it. That's why we call it edibles. But it's not necessary and causes you a lot of pain, constipation, sickness, and mucus. And of course, this is food for parasites and pathogens inside of us. So we have to focus on this. This is natural. This is following the natural path. And this one is just follow culture. This is culture. That is programming way to live. This is a program that was implanted in our culture to follow the path of death. Diet. If it comes from a plant, eat it like this. But if it has made in a plant, don't eat it. Plant is also could be a facility. And all packaged food comes with chemicals, agents that make it delicious to the taste, and so must cause dependence or addiction to it. Very easy. And they think these chemicals are food. This is the industry laughing of us all the time, giving us this junk food. And people are start to developing dependence to all of these products, chemical products, because they are tasty and they were designed to produce addiction. This is the acidic junk food. All of this inside of your fridge. You have to stop to get rid of all of this if you want to recover your original state of coherence life, that is health. Health is the original state of every being in this planet, unless you disturb it by your own actions. The waste from high protein and starchy foods, which the average mixed eater of Western civilization stuffs in their stomach 3 times a day, is what I call mucus, the foundational cause of all diseases. Professor Arnold Herret. The elimination of albumin proves that the body does not need it. That is overfed, overloaded with high protein stuff. Instead of decreasing these poison producing foods, they are wrongly increased. And they borrow to replace the loss until the patient dies. So also we have to stop to eat all of these animal products. And why? Because our bodies weren't designed to assimilate any kind of proteins. Doesn't matter if it comes from animal or a plant. We can't assimilate proteins at all. And also starches. And of course, any kind of fats. Doesn't matter if it comes from a plant or an animal. And it's very easy to prove it. So check your feces anytime you're going to shed. Fat can be assimilated because when you make a liposuction, that's a operation that removes grease and fat from your body. That's the proof that we can assimilate any kind of fat. Otherwise, these doctors couldn't remove it. So the proof is that it's going to be stuck in your organism. And also starches, when we eat a lot of starches, you can see in your feces, your fecal feces, you can check the remains of these starches. And all kind of starches is going to provoke mucus. So just make the experiment. When we cook oatmeal, rice, wheat, flour, any kind of flour, it's going to be sticky. And especially wheat flour, because contains gluten. And gluten comes from the word glue. So it's going to stick inside your intestine. And also it's going to stick your cells inside, producing mucus. And proteins is the worst of these three, because it's very toxic. It's going to toxify your body a lot. And it's proven that. So the only thing that our body can assimilate is sugar. And what kind of sugar? Fructose, that comes from fruits and some vegetables. That's it. Very simple. Our body is very simple. So that's why we have to realize this and stop to be attached of these paradigms, especially this one, proteins paradigm. That's how the system has taken us. involved with fear about proteins. Oh, please eat meat because you need proteins, blah, 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 blah. This is not true. And I'm talking about from my experience and from many others that we don't consume any kind of proteins, especially animal proteins, because proteins cause putrefaction. The starches cause fermentation, and any kind of fermentation is going to produce alcohol, and alcohol is a very dangerous toxin. And fats produce rancidity. It's going to get rancid. And rancid is a very dangerous poison also. So you have to be aware of this. This is a question. But how do you get protein and vitamins? They ask to the vegan people and this kind of movements. This is the most asked question. And this is the answer. I don't believe in the protein theory. Look at this theory, it's a theory. The body doesn't need anything to be a body. You cannot feed protein or anything else to an atom, and we are made of a bunch of atoms. The body doesn't get its energy from food or nutrients found in food. If you break your addiction, so-called protein, mucus foods, you will feel much better and see at once how wrong is this theory. Do I need colon irrigation? The human organism is the filthiest being on planet. No other animal has broken the physiological laws of nature as terrible as humans have. Because of your condition, it's necessary to irrigate our colon regularly to rectify the physiological laws that we and our ancestors have been breaking for thousands of years. This is an extract from Arnold Harris' book that I'm going to mention later. So the myth and deception of meat. As you can tell here, this is before and after when a corpse is treated with carbon monoxide. And after that, you can see that it's turning to red again because a corpse is going to putrefy immediately. It's dead. That's why the carnivores eat all the animals immediately. And they go straight to the blood because they going to look for nourishment from the blood. And of course, they eat the tissues and everything. But they don't kill the animal and then are going to keep it on the fridge and all these kind of stupid things that humans do. So this is a myth and a big lie that we need to eat meat to survive. So ask this question: your fridge is a morgue or a garden? And even worse, ask this question for your own body. Your body is a morgue of a garden. It's the same thing. So, honey, which of these pieces of carriage from decomposing corpses filled with antibiotics, hormones, and preservatives do you think will fill our colon and intestines less with parasites, rot, and cancer? Of course, it's a joke. But that is the thing that we should ask him all the time, because this is real. So the industry knows that people never will eat a corpse cancer region of an animal in original shape or natural state like this. That's why the system crush them and give them the shape of sausages. For the people never be aware of the disgusting and cruelty that they are eating in really. So this is how they manipulate our mind. And also think about this, because by the words, they are controlling us also. Our mind is controlled by words because words has frequencies and programs inside. So they say, do you want your meat with juice? Sorry, a corpse hasn't juice. They have blood. So it's going to be very hard when they ask this, because they have to ask this. Do you have your corpse with blood? But no, they are playing with us. They are going to make it suffered in a very soft way. That's why they say juice. And they are transforming this into this, to this. It's just mind tricks. So there is a reason why you wouldn't take your kids to apple picking, but not to a slaughterhouse, even if you pretended to ignore it. So this is the real cause. We are eating suffering, fear, adrenaline, death from these brothers and sisters that we call animals. And that's why we're going to, as human beings, our species is going to be happy picking fruits. This is our natural activity. But this is awful. Actually, if all the slaughterhouses had crystal walls, most of humans will be vegans immediately, because this is insane. This is murder. And we can take this, because this is not our nature, brothers and sisters. We are not killers, murderers. So if one of your values is freedom, why do you private animals from them? So which one is okay to eat? Do you know why you don't notice the difference? Because there is not such a difference. Because we are in the double moral. When somebody said, especially like in Asia, like in China, they used to eat dogs, cats, and all kind of animals. It's disgusting. I don't know why are they doing that, acting like zombies and predators. But some people say, oh no, they are cruel people because they are killing dogs and cats. They are our pets. That's not correct. But what's the difference with the other animals? If you are eating cows, pigs, chickens, rabbits, so there's no difference. So this is very important, adrenochrome. The adrenochrome is a neurotoxin generated by the suprarenal glands when a feeling being It's summated in a torture. And I guarantee that there is not something that affects exclusively to human beings. So adrenochrome is not just a thing of human beings. Also, the animals can produce adrenochrome. So the crime that our masters are suffering, our brothers and sister animals, it become in dark energy and pain for the rest of the planet. So please respect our brothers and sisters, their life and their rights. So look at this is very interesting. Coronavirus is an anagram of carnivores because they are poisonous since very time ago, or a long, long time ago. So this is the virus of fear, terror, with directly effects to the corona chakra, the crown chakra. Corona is crown. And also the anagram of salvation is veganism. Veganism is an anagram of saving me. It's not a casualty. So we are sons and daughters of the same mother. And for that, we are brothers and sisters, all together, coexisting in peace and harmony. So another poison that we are eating all the time with this kind of junk food is salt. Salt is poison. It's a killer. And I can see it in people's eyes, like bags, wrinkles, puffiness, all due to the cell-killing salt. That's why we started to eat salt, brothers and sisters, not salt, eat meat. That's why we started to eat meat, because salt, because otherwise it's disgusting. We can eat raw meat. It's disgusting. At least you have to add some species, some spices. And salt is the first one. So taking count this, the ancient Egyptians used oils, spices, and salt in their mummy wrappings. Today, we mummify the living with salad dressings made of mineral oils, spices, and salt. You see these mummies walking the streets, the dry skin, shrunken bodies, and faded hair, best pick, hardened livers, and sclerotic kidneys. It's hardly necessary to embalm such bodies after they are dead, for they are already pricked to the gills. So the average human blood has 9 grams of poison per liter. Mortician said, comparing the same size men and women, that it takes 40% less in embalming fluid to embalm women, because they have been embalming themselves with all their lotions and poisons applied to their skins their whole entire lives. If we wouldn't eat salt, we wouldn't eat anything probably, especially cooked stuff, because cooked dead matter tastes like death. Nothing with nothing without salt, or at least we wouldn't eat so much. We will start reducing our food intake, and that alone will have a greater positive impact in our health. Salt is the addictive factor which hooks us to food or the act of eating, same as sugar. But when I say sugar, I'm saying the refined sugar, not the original one, fructose. Both are very evil drugs, Satan's poison. But I think salt is the number one on the list. So now this is the main question. What are really are? We are frugivores, brothers and sisters. What does that mean? That we only can eat, or we were designed to eat fruits in their original state, raw. So we have this comparison with apes because we are very similar. We don't descend from apes, but we belong to the same family. We have almost the same physiological interior anatomy. So they only eat fruits and some green leaves like bamboo or another leaves. But mainly they only eat fruits. And look at these gorillas. They have a big and strong body made of muscles, and they are very strong. So that's what we are, frugivores. So this is the physiological comparisons of carnivores, herbivores, and humans. So carnivores, they have claws. Herbivores, not. Humans, not. The carnivore, its skin doesn't have pores because they transpire by the tongue. And humans, we have pores to sweat. Because they sweat, the carnivores, they sweat by the tongue. So carnivores, they have front sharp teeth, and they don't have molars, flat molars to chew. And of course, we don't have sharp front teeth, and we have molars, flat molars, in order to chew. The intestine of the carnivores is 3 times larger than their body. So they have a very short intestine or digestive system, because when they eat meat, it's easier to eliminate faster all the meat that they don't need anymore. And our intestine is 12 times larger than our body. Look at the comparison. And of course, they have a very strong acid, chlorhydric acid in their stomach in order to digest meat. And we don't have that. Our stomachal acids are 20 times softer than carnivores. And this is our mouth. Humans designed for eating fruits and vegetables. So we are not herbivores, we are not carnivores, we are not omnivores also. We are frugivores. So we are collectors. We can hunt any kind of animal because we don't have any kind of weapons. We don't have the skills. And also we can fish with our own means without using anything, any kind of tool, weapon. It's very clear. And also imagine this. So humans are not born with weapons, artificial devices like pots, pans. And also, if you want to eat meat or another kind of food like legumes, bread, rice, beans, lentils, whatever, we need two things: fire and devices. And at the very beginning of the life, humans didn't know. They haven't invented all the kind of things. And also, we haven't discovered fire yet. So what we ate before, very easy. The things that you can collect by yourself, you can pick by yourself. And it's already there, already there and already cooked by nature. Fruits and vegetables. Fruits are tasty, sweet. And the main thing that we are going to eat fruits is because water, they contain water, the original water that we need. You don't have to waste your energy. You just have to pick up the fruit and eat it. And you are not killing the tree. You're going to enter to the cooperative energy because you eat the fruit and then you return the seed to the earth in order to create more life. It's a system of cooperation, fraternity system. You are creating more life when you split the seed. And we used to shed on the ground. We are fertilizing the soil with our feces. But in the way that we are living now, we are living following a predator life, destroying, killing. And also agriculture was the worst thing that we have invented, because from that moment, everything went wrong. Think about this. Because you don't have to work the earth. The only agriculture that is dedicated to produce food is the earth itself. You don't need to do anything. Just observe the nature, and any animal needs to work to eat. They just eat the things that they were designed to eat. So agriculture was the beginning of slavery, tribal property, because the humans start to say, okay, now I'm working the earth, so this piece of land is mine because I'm working. And then I need help, so I'm going to take some slaves animals, of course, first, and then other humans. And from then, the working system was created. So we have to stop to do that because we're wasting energy and it's not necessary to do it. First of all, because we don't need any kind of food. But then if you want to eat something that is more in your frequency and what's designed for you, just take fruits from trees. Pretty easy. But now we have to complicate everything and start to involve in this energy extraction matrix and living by culture, programs, paradigms, dogmas. And because we are feeding pathogens and parasites inside us, that they are asking everything. This another proves that the biggest animals and strongest are herbivores. So where is the protein myth? They don't eat any kind of proteins. Look at these bulls, the muscles of horses, right? Rhinos, elephants, hippos. So it's a myth, it's a deception. So what really means be frugivore is to be whole, healthy, fresh, vigorous, respectful. It's a lifestyle. It's a balanced philosophy and a moral sense of life beyond a diet of fruits and vegetables. So why we are making this change? Basically for three reasons. The first one, and the most important, is because your health is for health, because everything starts with you. To recover your health state of coherence and love and harmony. Because everything begins with health. That's the main reason. The second one, for ethics, respect other living creatures, that we are coexisting with them, animals. And the last one, ecology, because we have to respect the environment, the planet. We have to come back to the original lifestyle. That is the natural way to live, following the principles of nature. Because like another creatures sharing this plane of life, this planet, we have to follow the coherence and the right flow of the energy. We can't take everything in front of us. And also, we should come back to live inside the tropics, because this is our comfort zone to live. Outside tropics, everything is extreme. You can live there. We are adapting there, but in a very artificial way and wasting a lot of energy. So Canada, Europe, South America, part of South America, there are no places for living, because also you have to take into account this. Humans, we don't born with clothes. We born naked. So the only places that we can live naked is inside the tropics. And we have the same amount of light the whole year. And also we have the same temperature. It's not extreme. And also we can find a lot of fruits, variety, a big variety of fruits, because taking count this, have you ever seen a polar bear in Spain? Or have you ever seen an elephant in the United States? Or have you ever seen a condor in China? Or a tiger in Mexico? No. Of course, in zoos is another thing, but it's not their original place. You can take them outside their comfort zone, and they're going to adapt. Not well, but they can survive. They're going to be very sad because they are not in the original environment. But this is another thing that is very important to realize and think about and comprehend and assimilate also. If you take an elephant from India to the London Zoo, it's going to be a big change for it. And it's going to say, okay, I'm here, but I'm going to try to survive. So despite the conditions on this zoo, and of course taking in account the weather and everything, no? The height of the city, this elephant is not going to ask another kind of food. This elephant, I can imagine saying, okay, now because here is cold and all the time is raining and this is another environment, please, from now and ever, give me a hot soup or a hot tea or cooked food. No, the elephant is going to keep eating the original food, even though they are in another country or another place. So the humans are the same, because there's another stupid excuse that some people say, oh, imagine living in Alaska or in Siberia. Yeah, of course, you have right, because first of all, there is Alaska and Siberia. It's not a place for humans. It's too cold. Nothing grows there. It's impossible. You have to eat fishes and seals and another kind of animals. But first of all, what are you doing there, living there? And also deserts. Why people is living on deserts? It's stupid. I don't know why humans are adapting very bad in other places. Come back to your original place. It's another thing that we have to realize and assimilate and ask yourself. And when you start to incorporate this and start to feel it, you say, okay, I have no any argument to confront these facts, because this is a fact. This is not a theory. Of course, you are not going to find this information in any kind of school, university, because they don't want that we know and be able to change the system. They are going to be lying all the time and programming us, indoctrinate us with this kind of programs of proteins and blah blah blah, predator life, and humans are evil by nature, and this is the chain food, and we have to follow, and this is the way that we are designed to live, and bullshit. Just think about the things I just told you. So another thing that we have to start to consider is eat raw. So it's eating foods of plant origin, fruits and vegetables mainly, in their primary natural and raw form without going through a cooking process or exposure to artificial heat. Because when we use fire, everything is gone. You're eating also dead food. Doesn't matter if it's not come from an animal. So fire is not natural. Actually, fire is not an element. You have to provoke fire. You can find any river of fire or a tree of fire. No. So element is not a natural element. So cooked food. When we cook food at more than 45 degrees centigrade, the enzymes are killed, the body raises the level of leukocytes in the blood because it takes them as a toxic and harmful antibodies and is interpreted that is not food for lack of enzymes and necessary nutrients. Research shows that cooked food, vegetables, and animals with its decomposed fibers pass more slowly through the digestive tract than raw food, since it partially ferments, putrefying and sending toxins to the body, gases causing acidity and degenerative diseases. Effects of a low consumption of raw vegetables and fruits. Poor digestion of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Absorption of toxins generated by cooking, enlargement and exhaustion of the digestive organs. Premature aging due to the consumption of our own enzymes. Weakened defense system, and the endocrine system is altered and also cause obesity, osteoporosis, allergies, autoimmune diseases, and cancer. And look at this. Photographs taken with the Kirlian camera of raw food and cooked food. Tomatoes, broccolis. Food also loses their energy, their power when we cook food. But you have to know something, that in the transitions, we need to make some alchemy, because some food needs to be cooked in order to assimilate it. Because when we cook some vegetables, especially, we're going to eat them for the fiber. We need the fiber. But they have a lot of starches. So when we cook, the starches become in sugar, and that sugar we can assimilate. So now I'm going to explain later this kind of alchemy that we need to do in our process, in the transitional process that we have to get through. Another example, lentil, raw lentil, sprout, and this is a lentil, a cooked lentil. Of course, you have to get rid immediately of your microwave oven because it's radioactive and produces a lot of radiology around us. And not just our killing the food, it's killing our system, our cells with negative radiation. And also, you don't have to give to another people. No, destroy it. This is silent weapon that we have inside our houses. Something that you have to get rid immediately. And in the process that I just told you, we can return to the gas stoves or the old-fashioned ovens using wood. But I recommend you that use the gas stove, because also the electrical ones are not good for our health. But the lighter way and the softer way to cook is with this old-fashioned way. So now the optimal condition and neutral system that we have started to follow is to achieve this. And I would say neutral because we're talking about our pH level, because we have to be in the neutral pH level. Hydrogen potential has to be neutral, not alkaline, not acidic, neutral. Neutral is the balance. And when everything is in balance, equilibrium, everything starts to flow. That's one of the philosophies of the Toltek wisdom, that is center, balance, fluency. And to change, that means that we have to change bad eating habits and harmful vices. Become aware of what you eat and how you eat it. Eat quality, not quantity. This is very important, quantity. So your food must be like this. First one, integrals. That means that they are not processed and you're going to eat it as is at harvest. The second, ecological, eco. That means organics. Proximity, it has to be local. Your food has to be local. Stop eating food from a very far places. Imported food is not good because they pick the fruits early, then it's ripe, and they pass this food through electromagnetic radiation in order to preserve them until it's going to get to the destiny in the supermarket. So bananas from Thailand, if you are living in the United States, no. Bananas from the American continent, from Mexico, from the Caribbean. If you want to, of course, eat tropical fruits, because if you have forest fruits like strawberries, any kind of berry, apples, pears, peaches, it's better. But if you are in Europe, also the same thing. Consume the local food. Don't import from Asia or from America. If you are in Spain, Spain has the Canarias Island, and then they have bananas, like an example. So and also we want to save a lot of energy, and we are not going to produce a lot of carbon emanations that is going to contaminate the planet and the system, and a change of bad actions activate when we start to consume food from very far places. And at the last point, your food has to be of seasonal station. What this means? That you have to eat that the station is going to offer you, because when it's summer, you need to be hydrated That's why we have watermelons, cantaloupes, melons, more juicy fruits. Winter season, we have citrus, lemons, mandarins, tangerines, oranges, guavas. So depends the station, nature is going to give you something for that weather. So, and also you have to consider your habits. What are you doing when you are eating? So you have to take in count the schedule, the time, to keep fixed schedule from eating in order to respect the three biorhythms of our body. We have three biorhythms. The first one is feeding. The second one, assimilation. And the third one is the cleaning. Dividing three sections because the day has 24 hours. So divide by three, we're gonna get 8 hours each. So when the correct time to eat starts from noon, 12, more or less, until 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. And then the assimilation biorhythm starts from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And the cleaning biorhythm begins from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that's the mistake that we are doing, most of people. They are eating inside of this biorhythm because your body is cleaning at the morning. In the morning, your body is cleaning in the morning. So if you eat something at 8 a.m., like most of people do, so you are breaking the cleansing process. So we have to take in count this again and respect our biorhythms. Another thing that we have to consider our habit is the example. So give to our children the example what and how to eat. This is very important because humans, we learn by imitation. So if a children is going to see you eating something that is not good, we're going to start to think that, okay, that's good for me also, especially drugs like cigarettes, alcohol, junk food. So this is very important to educate our children with our example, with our coherent actions, please. And what to do when we are eating. So when you eat, in what state you are. When you eat, try to eat with your family. Eat calmly and without stress. This is very important. Be focused on eating since the parasympathetic system that activates digestion is activated. Eat slowly and consciously. in silence. Because most people also in the modern times, like Simpson family, they used to eat in front of the TV, watching news. That's the worst thing because you're receiving bad news and your emotions and everything is going to provoke that stress. And also discussing and talking and blah, blah, wasting energy. No, in silent, focus, and of course, in gratitude state. Become aware of the food, cleaning it energetically with the frequency of resonance, using your intention and your hands, especially if you want to go to eat out to the restaurants. You have to cleanse your food, please, because you don't know in what mood the chef or cooker is. Because you have to take in count also the energetic world, not just the physical. Both are interacting each other. So if the chef is in bad humor, in bad mood, he's going to pass that information into food, into the food that you are taking. Of course, these people are not aware of that, but doesn't matter because the energy is going to transpass to the food that you are going to eat. So you have to put your intention, say thank you, and give the command to that food that you are cleaning, and you are going to get rid any kind of bad frequency, and then take it. So and also try to don't go to the restaurants anymore because of that, and also they cook with high doses of salt, sugar, and spices, fats, and everything, and also poisons like glutamate, monosodic glutamate, and all kind of tricks that turn that food tasty. So marketing. So if you want to have self-esteem and also care about your health and your family, start to cook in your house and also following the principles of that I just told you before, these ones: integrals, ecological, proximity, and season. So another thing to consider, trophology. Trophology means the science that study the correct combination of food. So with reflexology, we can make sure that food does not poison. With reflexology, we can make sure that food doesn't poison us and acidifies us, combining foods based on how the digestive enzymes act in the body. The body stops ingesting complicated mixtures and begins to take advantage on what it consumes. So I put this example because fruits, we are used to mix all of them. So think about this. There is not a tree in nature that has all fruits in one. The tutti frutti tree doesn't exist. So you have to combine well this food. Especially know that the acid fruits does not mix with sweet fruits because it has different pH. And you're going to provoke fermentation. And fermentation provokes alcohol, and alcohol is going to intoxify your body. And alcohol is going to reduce the levels of melanin in your inside, and melanin is everything. So avoid complicated mixtures of food. And also starches with proteins, like the most famous combinations around planet, like hamburgers, sandwiches. That you are combining meat with bread, with starch. Pizzas, and that combined with flour, that's starch, with cheese, that's a protein, fats. It's terrible because our body doesn't has the energy and also the tools enough to fix that kind of disaster. Because you introduce a kind of food, it's going to send the right enzymes to kind of simulate that. But if you put a lot of information inside, it's going to get crazy, our body, and confused. And it's going to start to create fermentations, putrefacients. And that is going to cause gas, farting, and acidity, like gastritis and all kind of diseases that we are experimenting in these modern times. And also because we are combining wrong our food. But put attention especially on fruits, please. So this is our real food, raw, juicy fruits, all kind of fruits. So physiologically, the fruit of the grapevine is the nearest and best blood food of all healing, of restoration of life at all. So another thing that we have to start to practice is permaculture, start to produce our own food. This is one of the activities that is going to taking us to the next level, the next step, in order to set us free of the system. So this is the first step that we have to start to do now, from now. So this is the dilemma: acidic food or alkaline food. You decide. This is life. and this is death, for sure. So I'm going to introduce you Arnold Ehret. This is a professor. Because if you want to know more about this information, go deeper and go to read this wonderful book. For me, it's the mother Bible of food and nutrition and whatever you want to call it. The naturist life that is called mucusless diet healing system, a scientific method of eating your way to health. So you can find it on internet for free, download it on PDF. Maybe you can find it on YouTube by audiobooks. We don't have excuses anymore. Information, we can find it anywhere. But follow this method, mucusless diet healing system. So if you have eaten wrong from 30, 40, 50 years, thereby producing your disease, you must do the necessary compensation as reparation for your sins. You must do the opposite by eating clean, natural, divine food, which will produce health instead of disease. This is Arnold Ehret again. Only through a mucus-free diet can we expect to eliminate the accumulation of waste and obstructions deposited in the body tissues during a lifetime of wrong eating. So the cleansing diet is at the same time a bodybuilding diet, leaving the body free from the accumulation of toxic waste brought about through the eating of mucus-forming food. Transition means the slow change from disease-producing foods to disease-healing foods, which I call the mucusless diet. Well, we have to stop here and be very clear about this. So now we know that we are frugivores, but we can pass from one day to another to start to eat fruits like that, because there's something that we have to regard. Fruits is our food, original food, but it's not, in this moment, it's not good, because in very dirty bodies, like the modern ones, it could be dangerous, because fruit is going to dissolve toxins. It's very, very powerful. But fruit is not going to eliminate those toxins. That's the problem. It's going to put in circulation in your veins old waste, toxins that you're going to start to eliminate. But it's not going to eliminate all of that. That's the problem with fruits at this point. Especially when you are a beginner, you want to make a transition. So that's why you have to start a transition, like here. Transition means the slow change from disease. Because when we start this lifestyle to the original lifestyle, we have to be very careful. So there is no hurry. You don't have to get first. You have to know how to get. There is no competition here. It's not a race. Because I told you before, each person is different because their toxicity record. So that's why this change is individual. So you have to do it without pause, but with no hurry. You don't have to hurry. You have to make a good transition to get to the target. And the target is purify, detoxify your body. But you have to do it well. As I told you before, the main reason to do it is for health, for you, not for animals. Not of course, it's also we are considered that. But if you are doing it for other reason, but you are in the emotion state, and that's why we have a lot of people that is quitting. They are giving up because they are ignorant. They don't have information. They are doing because they are following these bigger movements and these kind of healthy movements, but they are not following because of your health. And I don't blame them because there are not enough information. So that's why we have to make a transition. And this is come from this to this first, in order to get to be frugivores again. And that's why you have to start to follow the mucusless diet healing system. That's going to be your guide in your way to recover your original state of health. So what people think the transition diet looks like? Of course, it's like this because simple is better. But what actually looks like this, because we are making a transition. So in this transition, it's allowed to start from this in order to get to this. Okay? That's why you have to start to eat 80% raw with 20% cook. And I told you why we are cook, because some food that it has a lot of starches, when we cook them, we're making an alchemy to transform starches into sugar. Because we need the fiber, like this one, like zucchinis, like pumpkins. And I can put you an example, like if you eat a raw onion, it's too strong. It's hard to eat. No, it's a poison. That's why when you are chopping the onion, it makes you cry because it's telling you, don't eat me. It's not for you. And that's for sure. Just make this example, this experiment. In one hand, take an apple and another an onion and give a bite and tell me what is better. Onions is poison, and also garlic. Stop eat garlic is another poison. Actually, Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine is teaching the same thing. Don't touch garlic and onions. Step out of your diet forever. It's very toxic and kills our cells. But when we cook onions, we're going to transform that in a caramel, in sugar. That's the only way that you can eat onions. But garlic, I don't recommend it any way. And also, the way to cook is use steam. It's a very softer way to cook. And don't use any kind of fat. Don't use oil to cook. You have to it's very easy to cook with water. Just pour water and cook your vegetables with water. And if you need more, add more. But don't use any kind of oil. If you want to, in this transition, we use oil like olive oil and also coconut oil, organic and extra virgin. Because I told you, we can assimilate any kind of fat. And when we introduce fat, our body wants to eliminate it instantly. Fats, we are use them as laxative, like a purge, because any kind of fats wants to get out of our body immediately because it's a high toxic. So laxative is going to help you to shed better. That's why we use olive oil. And also, we used to eat fats in oil. You pour it on a spoon, the big one, the soup spoon, whatever, the olive or coconut, raw. And then you're going to pour one droplet of organic oil essence of any kind of plant, especially oregano, cloves, because we're going to use this for deworming to kill parasites, because some parasites have mouth with teeth and they are attached to the intestine very hard. And when we use oil, the oil is going to help to detach those worms. And then the plant, the essence, is going to kill them. There's another technique to deworming. So that's have to start to do, make a transition and start to eat a lot of salads, raw food. So that's why we're going to use food. I told you we don't need any kind of food. So food, we're going to use it for two reasons. Cleansing, to cleanse, and to remineralize. That's the only reason that we're going to use food. And of course, you can add some fruits like apples, pears, papaya, pineapples in a small quantity, in a small amount. Because I told you, in very dirty bodies, it's not recommendable to eat big amounts of fruits. We need more fiber, raw food and salads, because we need the fiber, and also to clean the intestine. Our health begins in our intestine. We have to cleanse our intestine. It's one of the tasks that we want to stop, and that's why we're going to use food, and we have to make the transition. Because also, when we start to detox our body, we have to be very careful, because our organs have a limited capacity to manage poisons and toxins. So if we saturate our organs, they are going to collapse. And that's why most of the people that are in the vegan or vegetarian movement, and they don't do this rightly, they quit, they give up because of this. Because now they are going to attend to the doctors, and they're going to say, okay, you need to eat again meat and eggs and dairy because you are getting weak and blah, blah, blah. And people believe them. But it's not because they are quitting meat or quitting dairy or the poison food. It's because they are not doing the right transition. It's because their own waste and their own poison and toxins are killing them. That's why we have to be very careful. I told you, do not rush. So make a right transition following the mucusless diet. And also you have to start to practice another cleansing techniques like intestinal washes, sweating, and like I told you before, earthing. You have to incorporate many habits, positive habits in your life that is going to accompany this process in your life. The more free you become from any kind of waste and poisons, the more you will sense, feel, and believe this greatest of all truths, that the paradisiacal diet is not only sufficient, but brings you higher and higher into physical and mental conditions never before experienced. So the ideal diet of man is the mono diet. This is another thing that we have to embrace and realize. Start to add in our habits mono diets. I told you, because we need to produce the correct enzymes. And when we start to eat and combine a lot of things at once, it's going to be very hard for our body. So look around nature, and also every animal only eats one thing at a time. They don't combine, they don't mix. So I recommend you, when you're gonna mix salad, only use 4 ingredients, maximum 4. When we're talking about vegetables. But when we're talking about fruits, try to eat mono diet. If you want to eat papaya, just pineapple, just bananas. Or maybe if you want to mix, try to mix from the same family. An example, the berries. You want to eat blueberries with raspberries, it's okay. Or strawberries with blueberries. They belong to the same family. Or citrus, mandarins with oranges, it's okay. And sometimes sweet fruits with another sweet fruits, they combine good, like mango with papaya is okay, or mango with banana is okay. But never at the opposite. Never mix pineapples with bananas. It's the opposite, because they have different pH. So the main thing is start to be very easy, simple, simplify your life is the best way to start this change. Try to save energy. Don't waste energy cooking and thinking, and go to the origin. And mono diet is going to be the fastest way to practice. So the ideal diet of man is the mono diet, and mixtures are prone to lead to gluttony. So that this should be remembered when arrange the meal. Always eat fruit first. The digestion of ripe fruits takes a place with a normal stomach with a few minutes after eating. Wait 5 or 10 minutes before eating your vegetable course. Do not drink liquids of any kind with meal. Liquids of all kinds, including soups, interference with proper digestion of meal. At least 30 minutes should elapsed before drinking, both before and after eating. Man's food eats fruit and herbs. In Genesis, in Bible, we can read this. For healing purposes, uncooked starches, green leaf vegetables, parsley, carrots, celery, lettuce, combined with fruits, both in their natural and cooked state, will be found to be much better than an exclusive fruit diet. Mix but few varieties. Mix but a few varieties. Mixed for a few varieties. Fruit meals should consist of not more than 2 kinds of fruits in season. Your appetite will dictate the quantity to be eaten. Never eat nuts with juicy fruits. When nuts are eaten with fruits such as oranges, apples, pears, the water makes nuts indigestible. Dry fruits like figs, raisins, dates, prunes can be eaten dry with nuts. Chew together and masticate thoroughly. The fruit sugar helps to digest the nuts. Nature's open book is simplicity. The fewer fruits mixtures, the better. 3 different varieties should be sufficient. 4 and 5 is often too many. Do not overeat, never. Mother Nature requires moderation in all things. This is very important, the habits to take in count in our new lifestyle. So another advice, start to only eat 2 meals per day. First of all, you're going to start to practice intermittent fasting. Try to eat the latest as you can. So try to eat minimum at 12 p.m. to respect the biorhythmic that I told you before. And then eat until dinner time, between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. That's it. Only 2 meals per day is enough. And then just 1 meal, only dinner. Only have dinner. And then you're going to start to see the results, the benefits. In the morning, you can start with your drinking your own urine, your piss. And then you can prepare an infusion of herbal tea, natural. You can try warm water with lemon and honey. This is perfect because warm water is going to help to dissolve mucus. The juice lemon is going to help to burn fat. And honey is going to help us to trap toxins. And also you can make a smoothie or a green juice. And this is very clear, like this example. You are what you eat is literally, it's not metaphor. You're going to reflect the inner side to the outer side. So no-sin habits. You have to stop to take drugs and also stop stupid things like smoking, drinking alcohol, and also taking hardest drugs. That we have learned by imitation, remember. And when people start to say, I do not take drugs, because they think that drugs are cocaine or marijuana. But no, start to pack starter pack starter starter pack is like this: alcohol, cigarettes, coffee. Caffeine is the worst thing that you can have. So medical drugs, alcohol, beers, industrial chocolates, industrial teas, sodas, etc. Any kind of trigger or stimulation outside of you is a drug, especially food. And sex also is a drug. Because I told you, everything is pathological. So there are essentially only three drugs that Western civilization tolerates. One, caffeine. From Monday to Friday, to energize you enough to make you to a productive member of society. And alcohol is going to give you, and you're going to take alcohol from Friday to, and you're going to take alcohol from Friday to Monday to keep you too stupid to figure out the prison that you are living in. So very clear. This is a modern slave that it needs caffeine to boost energy, but you don't know that you are destroying your nerves, your nervous system, and it's very acidic. This is a very acidic liquid with in the pH level is in 3. Imagine 3 is very low. That causes you inflammation inside of your stomach, gastritis, ulcers, and of course, alcohol is the same. That's why they are legal, because alcohol comes from the Arabic word al-kul. Al-kul is a demon. Gul. Gul is the name of the demons from the Islamic culture. Ghouls. That's the another words come from, like gold. When you scream gold, you're summoning demons. And al-kul is a demon. Al is Allah. Is this demiurge that controls the matrix, Metatron. This false god, this fake god. Because when you take alcohol, when you drink it, then other name of alcohol is spirit beverage, because victory is going to control by spirits, bad spirits, because it's going to open your pineal gland, and you're going to be, it's a possession. That's why people transform themselves when they are drunk. They are different people, start to make nonsense things, start to act aggressively, violent, stupid. And that's why the other day you don't remember anything, because it weren't you. You have been possessed. And also because your brain was inflamed. And then it's going to have like a toxified moment. But this is something that you have to cut off forever. Please don't take this. And also coffee is like a new fashion in the planet, especially with Starbucks, that, oh, okay, I have my coffee with my name written on the glass, and I have this because I watch movies in Hollywood. And all the people that is working has their own coffee with their own names and blah, blah, blah. It's a stupid thing. So don't you see that you are falling in this trap of self-destruction? So please give up of all of these kind of drugs. And this is another very important thing to assimilate. So people telling me all the time, especially in these times, Put on your mask and take care of your health, because you can sick. You can, because you can get sick. Especially people that are drinking shit, taking shit, smoking shit, and eating shit. And they think that washing their hands 60 times per day and buying a lot of toilet paper, they're going to avoid to get sick. So of course, this irony. And also they are like this their whole life, doing this, practicing this. And now they are concerned for their health. Please, don't be ridiculous and be coherent. So another solution is abstinence. We don't need solutions. We need corrections of your lifestyle. That's the main thing of everything. We are offering, of course, solutions, but these solutions need to be in service to the main thing, that is correction of your lifestyle. So all the solutions, we're going to use them in order to achieve the correction of your lifestyle. They are like satellites. They are going to help us. But you don't have to remain there, because most of the people say, okay, I have a solution now that it can cure me and save me for now. That's why I can be keeping my lifestyle, return to drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes, because now I have a medicine solution. No, that's not the point of this. So the main thing is abstinence, correction. So the best bank in earth is this one. Plant the seeds and it makes them fruitful for free. I told you, you don't have to do anything. Agriculture is unnatural. Natural medicine does not exist because the natural way to live is not to get sick. Very clear. So that's why we have to stop to say, oh, natural medicine. So think about it. Why nature is going to create something called medicine? Because the original state of every being is to be healthy. So we have to get out of our heads that concept of medicine. That's the main thing that we have to realize first. And then, of course, in this state that we are living now of diseases and sickness, we're using some plants or herbs that we call medicine, but it's not medicine. They are helping us to cleanse our body. Because remember, your body is going to heal by itself. The solutions are going to help to improve the energy, getting rid of toxins and mucus and parasites. And then your body's going to do the work by itself. That's why we also recommend fasting, because like in the Toltek wisdom teach, I am my own word, I am my own medicine. So this is very important. When your diet is wrong, medicine doesn't work. And when your diet is right, medicine is not necessary. Very clear. Before you heal someone, ask him or her if he's willing to give up the things that made him sick. Wow, incredible. Hippocrates. This is the main thing that you have to ask yourself first. Are you ready to give up everything that leads you to this sickness state? we can't advance and we can continue. If not, sorry, don't waste your time. Because I told you, the solution is change your lifestyle. Change your lifestyle. Correction is the key of everything. So I'm going to put you an example. When people that is suffering diabetes comes and they asking for help, and then you check the record of toxicity and you discover that this person is drinking 2 liters of Coca-Cola per day, you say, well, okay, this is the main cause of your disease. Are you going to be able to give up of Coca-Cola, to cut off this bad habit? And if you say, and this person said, yes, okay, we can continue. If not, sorry, you are a zombie, literally. So you can't expect to feel like $1 million if you keep eating from the dollar menu. Fabulous. So to take medical drugs and think that you are healthy is the same thing that to take a bank loan and think that you are rich. And also, this is very important. Health is not inside of a bottle. You are not going to find health or balance inside of a bottle or inside of a pill, in something artificial, created, manufactured. That's not the natural way, because medical drugs, they are only made to sedate you. They're going to sedate to cut the symptoms, but they are not going to cure anything at all. So it's a vicious circle that you create when you take pills and drugs. You're going to be numb. That's all. But it's not going to cure anything. Forget it. In nature, there is no pills, there is no drugs at all. To change lifestyle is the key. Human beings are so foolish that they prefer to get used to the illness, sleep it, and satisfy themselves with medications before looking for the cause and having to change to heal themselves. So doctors be like, I'm not sure what's wrong with you, but I'm going to give you some poison. And this is like we are living. Looking for some solutions inside of pills, jars, syringe, whatever, pills. Only in a society severely disconnected from the true self could believe that people who reverse disease and maintain perpetual health via natural means are trying to harm you, while the notorious corrupt companies who profit of disease are trying to help you. Another very hard message, or very clear. So another joke. Your stomach issues are related to the food you're eating. Got it. So should I change my up diet? Oh no. Don't do that. Just take some antacids instead. Very clear. So the cure of all diseases come out to light, And this is, I present you. Give up of this and start the redemption way to the natural medicine. If your blood is formed from eating the foods I teach, fruits and green leaf vegetables, your soul will shout. Your soul will shout for joy and triumph over a misery of life. For the first time, you will feel a vibration of vitality through your blood, through your body, like a slight electric current that shakes you definitely, that shakes you delightfully. I don't know. So this is the real pharmacy that I told you. Take one of day with tomato and cucumber. Transition. This is the real pharmacy. Transition and fasting. What the majority thinks is hard to change your diet, but what is really difficult? When you are in a hospital, it could be very late. So think about it. You are on time to make a change in your life, from once in your life. So a person becomes most efficient and develops best in health if he or she eats as little as possible. I told you, quality, no quantity. You're very hard to control when you're healthy. You're very hard to manipulate when you're clear. You're very hard to influence when you are sober. So now we have in this point. And when we are vibrating in ignorance and indifference, we are suffering the consequences. But now, with awareness and action, everything is going to change. This is the two things that we have to consider. Be aware is the first step. And second one, action with the force of will. With Huitzilopochtli, the force of Huitzilopochtli, the lefty humble. If you already know what you have to do and you don't do it, then you are worse than before. Very clear. Because at the beginning, we were ignorant and we were victims of the system, for sure, inevitable. But as adults, it's 100% to change that. We have to pass to be victims and now to be responsible of our lives. Take control of your life, and everything begins with health. Change your diet, your habits, remember. So this is very clear. Because now you are aware of that. And if you don't change it, you don't do something about it, you're going to be worse than before. Because now you are aware. There's no more excuses. So more connected you are with your inner energy, less food you will need. Very clear. This is the process. Change your diet. You have to realize that you are not omnivore. Pass for omnivore to vegetarian, vegan. From vegan, raw food. Raw food is going to give you the step to pass to frugivore, mono diets. And after that, only liquids, liquorians. And after that, breatharian. The original state of human beings on this planet. Because we are living, because we are breathing. And after that, also, you stop to breathe, and then you change your frequency, you shift to another state of frequency, and then you're going to achieve ascension, the real one ascension, and escape from this matrix, this tonality. So this is what is going to set us free, to really set us free. We have to get rid and give up of our triggers and stop to stimulate our body and start to listen your heart instead of your bowels, of your intestine, your parasites. Kill your parasite, and then the larvatic body is going to be neutralized. Because here, the larvatic body is the king, but a king needs a kingdom, needs submitted people, slaves. And when you eliminate those slaves, that are the parasites, the king is not going to have any kingdom at all, or any slaves to rule. And then you neutralize the larva, and your soul is going to take place again and control of your avatar. And then you make the shift. Start to manifest your multidimensional essence and energy. You're going to start to create again, find energy, because we can create energy for sure. But we are wasting our soul energy. That's called quantum silicon energy from the soul. And we are wasting that energy eating, fornicating, working, doing stupid things, instead to using that energy to create scalar energy, find energy to escape from this video game called tonality. The inner change will transform your outer world. Everything begins from inside. Remember that. And this is crucial. The time has come, here and now. Nikan, Ashkan, here and now. Remember always that. So now you have a guide to follow and start to practice. The practice makes the master. Experience, and you're going to start to see the benefits and feel it and live them, the benefits, to be healthy in the resonant state, following your heart, feeling light, start to feeling lighter, out of the density, with full energy, vitality. And also your economy is going to be better because you're going to stop to spend money on stupid things, junk food, and more things. So start to practice Chipawa, the art of purification and transparency of your body, of your crystal body, of your mirror, to reflect a better image in the outside. And then enter in the resonant state of love, resonance, love, amor, amplitude modulated of resonant wave, ometer.